Let's see, hold on.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 ba-da. Oh, here we go. I have to turn the sound down or else we distract ourselves. There's a lot of
Oop.
feedback. So Steve's had something new set up. It was supposed to be a chat GPT was supposed to give us questions.
Oh yeah, it's not what I thought it was going to be.
Oh.
It's basically a way to, if you're holding a meeting and you've missed some point or other, you can type into the chat questions, and then based on whatever the transcription says up to that point, AI
Oh.
can answer the questions for you and bring you up to speed. Or if you have some
Oh, oh,
questions
okay.
off the
Uh,
track,
yeah, so you're just using like the AI to like,
Pay
you know,
attention.
augment
right,
like
right.
the bullshit we talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was going to give us questions, but okay, never mind.
Although I did ask GPT just straight up, and the
Yeah.
one I thought was interesting was the healthcare exec murder.
That I plan to talk about that
Please,
today.
Yeah,
let's
that's a good one.
discuss
Well, then
that.
leads us right into it.
What did it say?
Well, it just
What
says
is
fatal shooting has sparked
Oh.
discussions of insurance tactics and broader implications for the industry. It doesn't give me any detail.
It's his wife. The wife did it, and it's a red herring.
this was very professional, but
Yeah.
also very personal.
Yes.
What do you mean by
Now,
very
now my
personal? Please explain.
professional is in the guy was
Oh
fucking
yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
was thoroughly prepared,
Yep.
both for to get in
Yep.
and his escape, because clearly he has
Oh
escaped.
yeah. Poof. And
His
he left a
only
backpack with Monopoly money.
his only mistake
Uh-huh.
in all of this
Yeah.
so far
DNA.
was when he checked into the hostel,
Oh yeah, really?
and because he had to show his face.
Oh.
That is that is his only mistake so far. The DNA it's not going to do anything like that. Can be, you got to catch the guy first. Like, he just, if you've seen have you seen the video of the actual shooting?
No.
Number one, he has a silencer on his weapon.
Ooh.
How
Number
did you see
two,
the video?
what do you mean? It's on the news like
It
everywhere.
is? You can actually
Yeah.
watch the video?
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm
It's
not
not
watching the
like
news. I've taken a break.
it's not and a guy it's not got like any sound or anything because it's CCT video. But
So the
like,
guy
yeah,
has a silencer. He just walks right up to him and poo poo.
well, he has a silencer. He ends up having like an issue where his weapon jams. He clears it very quickly and efficiently, like in a very professional way. Like, he doesn't get frazzled by it. Like,
Mhm.
he is clearly had a long history with handling
He's
weapons.
comfortable. He's very
Very
comfortable.
comfortable and very not I comfortable is too light of a word. He
Right.
is expert.
Right. He's had a gun fail on him so many times that he's like it doesn't even phase him. He knows exactly what to
Well,
do.
he just
Trained in that situation so many
yeah,
times that he's just fluid.
yeah. He
Which
clears
you
it, and
want if you were hiring a hitman, right? And if
it,
your wife that wanted the
that's the
insurance money
thing,
really
is it could
bad,
be, but it is so very personal
why?
because like you have to be very personal to write a message on the
Or
cartridges
it's a red
that you
herring. And
leave behind.
that's what I think it's too, I think that's where they went too far. I think they're trying to set it up and that's how they wanted to make sure that people went for that. Because to me, I don't think a real hitman would do that. I don't think a real person who is trying to
I
kill.
didn't say he was a
Right,
hitman.
right, but I don't even think that's the way someone would send a message. I think that's the way someone would think to send a message if they were trying to throw someone off. I don't think that's the way. I think they would have, if it's personal, if they hate him, it would have been,
I don't think
they
it's
would have,
personal to him specifically. I
yeah, I
think
don't know. It's fishy.
it was personal for the shooter in in the message that was sent. It is the kind of thing that you would do if like your wife had been denied coverage on something and she died, like,
And you
or
just happen to be
yeah.
a sharpshooter assassin guy that knows how to handle weapons,
Do
and
you
you're
know
like,
how many
he fucked with the
military
wrong. Okay, right, that's what
people
I'm saying. So you're
and
imagining that this guy is like, you fuck with the wrong guy, and so he sat up and he put his loop on, and he's like, and he scratches in these words on the things because he knows that when the cops see it, oh, that's gonna be what? It's gonna upset all the other CEOs and get them in line. Like, well, I don't understand how that. Like, I think there's like, I'd rather if I was that mad, I'd kill his wife. You know, if he took my wife, I'd kill his wife. Like, I don't know if carving things that to me really smacks of someone that's trying to throw you off a different. But who knows? I mean,
I mean, it could
maybe
be. I
Monopoly
mean,
money.
the
Monopoly money.
reality is
And
nobody's going to know
like that sounds like
until,
it
you
sounds like a crime
until he's
novel.
caught.
I've
And
had a lot
eventually
of
he
time
will
in
be.
creative writing classes with people that weren't very good at crime writing but wanted to be, and that's the kind of shit they'd come up with. And then the backpack was full of Monopoly money to drive home the greed. Okay, that's so that's where I'm at. But I've lost my mind since the election. I'm some kind of conspiracy nut person, so don't listen to me anymore.
You could be the fun one.
Right?
I'll
No,
stick
so
to the facts. You stick to the fun.
thank you. So I really am curious, like what is your take on what the implications are with healthcare and health with CEOs and what does this is this a harbinger of more violence to come? How do you see it?
I think not specifically this, but like in the if you take the entire news week into context, and really the past 2 weeks into context, because not only do you have this, you have the guy I think in California, I think it was California, who shot up an
Kindergarten?
elementary school.
Kindergartners, yes.
Yeah, kindergartners, killing 2 kindergartners because he's
Did
mad.
did they both die? They were in super critical condition.
Or
They
that
died.
okay, they may still be,
Okay.
you know,
I don't know. They literally, I've never heard someone say super critical condition. Usually
that
critical
is
enough.
that is
Yeah.
I
that
was
is
like,
pretty
they're,
critical. But
yeah.
from what I remember off the top of my head, like one of the kids was hit in the chest twice.
Oh my God. And
Like
what kind of gun was it?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It couldn't have been an assault rifle because you
No,
twice in the chest with that.
no, not at all. No way.
No, there's no
No
room
way.
on him.
There wouldn't be anything left.
There wouldn't. There wouldn't.
But there's that.
But what was
And
his
then
motive? Does anybody have any idea what he was doing?
Gaza.
Oh,
He
was
left
it?
he left a
Didn't know
manifesto
that.
and
I'm not
was
following the
apparently
news.
shitty
Thank
about
you.
Gaza.
He was mad about Gaza.
Yeah.
He shot
This was
kindergartners.
revenge. This is was
Are they Jewish kindergartners? Was it a Jewish school?
no, it was a Christian school, which is weird.
Weird. How
Like,
weird.
what
So
the
he
fuck
just
do
was mad
Christians
about
have to do
Gaza,
with anything?
and he just went out and shot with kindergartners even. Like, what
Yeah,
is,
I mean, yeah.
I don't care what,
Period. Like, period.
kindergartners that you get a pass
They
on
can barely
everything.
wipe their ass on their
Thank
own.
you.
Like, you can't blame them for anything. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Of all the people you murdered, like, and he met with the administrators. Like, couldn't he have murdered them? I mean, no offense, but like,
I mean, why are you murdering anybody for
right.
a
But if you have
war
to, like a
that is
kindergarten,
fucking like 5,000 miles away, who has
we're being
nothing to do
manipulated.
with you?
No. And we're all being manipulated by that story. We're all being manipulated. That is just so fucked up. Oh my God, that's terrible. So anyway, what else went on this week? Because again, we're avoiding the news, so he's connecting it all.
More violent. I don't remember exactly how many. I have to go back and find the story, but a number of people in the House of Representatives had received bomb threats.
Oh, great.
Ooh, cool.
That's lovely.
Hold on, I had it up here a minute ago. The most recent one was a Massachusetts congressperson, and it's across the board. They're Republicans that are
Nonpartisan hate.
yeah. The most recent victim was Representative Lori Turan. I guess she's I don't know fucking anything about Massachusetts other than their fucking crazy accent.
Yeah, it's Massachusetts. Yeah.
But like Jim Himes, John Larson, Jahana Hayes, Joe Courtney, all this week since Thanksgiving. We're targeting on Thanksgiving. They were targeted on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then there's Chris Murphy has been targeted. Senator Sheldon Whitehorse or Whitehouse. Seth, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Were within the past week. Uh, Elise Stefanik recently.
He's Stefanik. That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, they really.
Oh, this could lead to an emergency situation.
Brooke Rollins.
Ooh, we're waiting for that.
Lee Zeldin. Like all of these people are being targeted with bomb threats.
And do they know who's targeting them?
No.
Where the bomb threats are coming from? Nobody knows.
I don't. But it's across the board.
Yeah. Sounds like a need to declare an emergency crisis situation.
I certainly
so that all
it
of our
doesn't do that
freedoms
because I saw you guys' video on that and like though I don't like I've never been a fan of the AI.
No,
voiceovers.
there's actually an article. I gave the URL to this program and the program created that for me. Isn't that wild? So it was like I didn't make
I just
it.
never liked the
I don't
AI
like
voices.
I don't like them either.
Ugh.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't care.
But yeah, it's something that could be in line with that kind of thinking.
Right.
You know, on the family front.
Okay.
And also, like one of the largest synagogues in Sydney was set on fire with parishioners inside praying.
Oh my God.
I think everybody made it out, but like it was firebombed. Like
Jesus Christ.
Like 1950s style
Wow.
firebombed.
Wow.
Like, and there was another one recently. There have been a bunch that have been firebombed, but there was another one recently, I think, that was firebombed with people in it.
Jesus.
Like the world is fucking going nuts.
Yeah. Syria, something happened.
That's on my list today. That's fascinating for me. I mean, I've never been a fan of Assad. I think he's always been, I've always thought of him as a piece of shit, murderous bastard.
Sure.
And that's probably the nicest thing I can say about him and his family. Though I do understand why some like Syrian Jews, supported him at least in the beginning, because like the not administration but regime that was empowered prior to that, like was even worse for us, like than his regime, and like they were being basically held as somewhat loose hostages in Syria until like the 1990s, mid 90s, I think. Early 90s, mid 90s, somewhere in there. So I understand why some people may have supported their regime in the beginning, but like he was a real piece of shit. Like he murdered like
he's terrible.
half a billion or no million, half a million or so of his own people, gassed his own people. Like dude was fucking twisted,
no doubt.
And I remember at the time when that happened in the US, like there were people that were actually calling on the US to stay out of it, to not protect these people. And like I think that was an opportunity that we as a country and as like a world power missed to influence the direction of Syria going into the future, because now the people, that the rebels that they're constantly talking about, these are people that are associated with ISIS, with Al Qaeda, with the Muslim Brotherhood, that are being supported by Turkey, and I get that it's because there's a power vacuum now that Hezbollah is basically, I don't know, ineffective,
Defunct.
defunct, but not defunct, but not defunct. They're
You
still
can be a
causing some
defunct company.
havoc.
You still exist, but you're just
They're still causing some havoc. Obviously, they violated the peace agreement like 54 times since it's been instituted. Like what, this week, last week, this week? Which is crazy, to be so fucked up and still have the gall to, violate that treaty that's like literally keeping you on a lifeline at the moment.
right.
And
But what's going on in South Korea? That was another weirdness.
I don't know too much about that because
You
like
put the lights on and off.
it was like not in my radar
Weird.
radar.
So weird.
Like I
Martial law, not martial law. Impeach him. Don't impeach him.
I always thought of
it's over.
South Korea as a fairly, stable,
Yeah, you think.
democratic,
Uh,
but I guess
Not now.
they have a far right leader now, who tried to institute martial law and till he got called out, and
They didn't impeach him. They left him.
did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
Well,
Okay.
it says opposition politicians have begun impeachment proceedings against him.
Oh, they said when I read this morning. It said they stopped. How old is this?
Let me take a look at this.
This morning it said impeachment blocked or something. So I
This is
saw
like-
that come across my thing, but
this
maybe it
looks
was
like-
just.
BBC. Hold on. South Korea president faces impeachment vote. This is December 3rd, actually.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I believe they voted to keep the bugger in.
Yeah, but they're starting the proceedings.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's crazy. Like, fuck world.
Less than 2 hours after his declaration, MPs forced their way into the National Assembly and voted to block his decision.
Yeah.
Some broke through barricades.
It's always a good sign when your government tries to overthrow your government.
I would love to see the Democrats doing that. Come
South
on. let's
Korean
rush the place.
impeachment vote fails after ruling party boycotts it.
Interesting.
I asked him to look it up, and he picks up an article from December 3rd and then obsesses over it. Like, that is what's going on here. What's going on here, Steve? Fail. Fact check fail.
Steve, you're our fact checker.
Jesus, why even have the laptop if you're just going to get sucked into December 3rd? It's December 8th, Steve.
That was dramatic.
Thank you.
But yeah, what the fuck is going on in the world?
And scene.
And see everything. France is imploding. Germany
what's happening
tried
in
to
France?
implode. Didn't they? Well, that was a little while ago, but France is still pissed off. Hold on.
Well, they've got some financial troubles. They're
Well,
way above. They're way in debt.
duh. We're gonna be way in debt in a little bit here.
Yeah.
We're already in debt, but
It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Everything's stupid.
everything is stupid.
Stupid. It's a stupid time to be alive. I thought it was gonna be fun when it's interesting, but you know what? I'm done. I'm tired of interesting. I want boring. I'm tired of this.
If you're rich enough to be able to throw away $120,000 per year, you can live on a cruise boat.
Ooh,
I don't want
nice.
to live on a cruise boat.
I know, I get seasick. I don't think you actually feel it,
No, I'm not afraid.
but I
of
don't
it.
want to find out either. There's a reason I didn't go in the Navy.
Right. Well, I mean, to me, like, it's like, I don't want to be any place that I can walk to the other side in like 40 minutes. Like, I think I'd feel trapped after a while. And I know they dock and all that other shit, but like whenever you dock, you have to go through customs and it's a big pain in the ass. So I'm sure I'd just be like, oh, fuck it. And then I'd be like just trapped on a boat for a year. So I don't know. It'd be a prison of my own making, no doubt, but I don't think I'd like it. Would you like it?
I would care less, except for the fact that it's on the water. I don't like it.
Oh, right, the whole thing. But you wouldn't feel it if you didn't feel it. If you knew it was a giant ocean.
Kind of claustrophobic though. After
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That too.
That's what I'm saying. You know, things are small on a boat.
And
You have to like everybody, and there's a lot. You're gonna keep seeing the same people.
there's a reason I have a giant office.
And a door that locks.
No, it doesn't.
Oh well, sorry about that.
My
You know, with the proper furniture, any door can be a lock.
It's true.
Just
It's true. But yeah, it's crazy.
It is. There's been a lot of craziness happening, and it's just I can't even peek. I can't even. It's just ridiculous.
I am fascinated by the Ro Khanna pick.
The what?
The Ro Khanna, or not Ro Khanna, sorry, Kash Patel pick
Oh,
for FBI director.
Bring him.
Number one, like I don't know where he went crazy because he used to be a fairly well respected public defender.
Many of them were very respected and okay people at one point, and they all just lost their minds. So I don't know, man. That's fun. Yeah, I love it. They're all like, oh, I saw like the little blip of the mainstream news came across my feed, and they're all like, oh, actually, people are gonna, the FBI is gonna have to do background checks on all the cabinet. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then it says, just not on the ones that Trump doesn't want. And then he'll just wait till he has his own FBI head, and then they'll do the thing. And it's like, oh, come on. Like, I'm just so sick of I
The
mean,
whole thing is
such a
ridiculous.
joke. It's all such a joke. I'm so sick of it. Even this election, I swear to God, I'm just so sick of this entire joke. I'm done. I can't get out of this place fast enough. I
I
see-
wish,
I
uh,
can't stop about it. Ugh.
but unfortunately, we do have to live in it, and we do are gonna have to warn folks, as much ahead of time as we can, because they probably are gonna do the mass deportation thing.
Yeah. Wait,
You
what
know,
would they?
they are going to do the tariff things, not necessarily the ones specifically stated, because obviously Mexico and Canada kind of bitched Trump out with those, but like those things are going to happen. Like this is a dude who
An abortion ban? There's going to be a national abortion ban.
there will be.
About it. Definitely.
There
Definitely.
will be because it's going to
Absolutely.
get to his desk,
Absolutely.
and he's going to sign it.
Right? Will there be tribunals? Is he going to go after Fauci? Is he going to go after Hillary Clinton? Like that could be fun. Let's see what happens there.
I the problem with that I feel about that is like I feel bad for the victims
Sure.
in
But
these.
they're the ones staying in the United States. Like they have more
Mm.
money to get out of there. So if they're gonna hang out here, then it's on you. If Jack Smith gets arrested, I mean, that's on him.
It
Right?
is
Like
in the
you should
sense
know you've got a target on you. Like all the New York judges, like, I'm sorry. Right?
it, but at the same time, like if these people don't stay,
What do you mean?
and
If
if
they
they
don't
don't stay, and like there aren't people to fight back in various like ways, you know what I mean? Um, like at various stratas of the society,
Hmm.
then like we're just accepting that this is going to be the way it is for the rest of our natural lives and potentially our children's natural lives.
Well,
Well, my children's you guys don't have kids, so you
right.
guys
Well,
are okay.
but again,
But but still, you guys love John and like
I
you
understand, but there's
know,
something also to be said for there's that great book, The Dawn of Everything, awesome book about like what we now know about other civilizations like 20,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago. We have proof. And it's very interesting that when there are definitely situations where tensions arise and people just break off. Now we don't have the land to do it these days, but that was how humans handled their problems for like millennia is that would build up and then people would just be like, all right, I don't want you. I'm going over here. I'm now the mountain people. You are now the beach people. Kiss off. And they just do it. And I
and we
think
can't.
that, and
You're
well,
right.
we
You're
can, but we
right.
can in our own way. There are ways that we are experiencing living in the country where we're contributing, and there are ways that we can live in the country and not contribute. And unfortunately, like any participation in, when you kind of like the deal with Gaza. Like our government will be MAGA. So you are essentially MAGA. You take money from your check comes signed with MAGA. You're a part of MAGA. You're a part of it. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not a part of that
Well,
fucking
you
thing.
kind of are if you're taking money, or if you're taking if your company that you work for has signed a loyalty pledge and you're part of it. When if another country comes in and just says that MAGA is a terrorist organization or something, well, everyone's guilty. Everyone's in it. I
I
don't want to be
disagree
a
with
part of
that.
it. Well, I don't know. I don't want to be a
I
part of it.
disagree with that.
That's
Like
kind of how.
I gotta pay my bills. Like I have to have a place to live,
Well, I
you
mean, that
know.
happens all over the world. People have to make compromises to live under regimes that they don't believe in um 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 ideologically, but they have to make these compromises
That doesn't
and
make them
it often makes you a
apart.
target for violence. It often makes you a target for discrimination. It often makes you a target for exploitation. I'm just saying, like once a country flips, it's a danger to be here, and you have to make a compromise, and you have to figure out how much of your. It's not as simple as I'm going to stay here and fight. Being a part of the system,
No,
contributing to the system,
no,
you're giving
nobody
them taxes,
says it's
you're giving
simple.
them, well,
Nobody
your tax
says
money's
it's
going to
simple.
them, right?
Nobody.
You pay taxes on your property. You pay taxes on your paychecks. That's going right to these people. That's going again.
I agree with that part, but it's
It's
nobody said it's
horrible.
simple. Eh,
No, it's
like the framing that it's like the way you're framing it would be like blaming Iranians for the IRG
right,
or blaming Jews in the world for the problem of Israel. You can't do that.
right. But people do. My point is
Okay, people do,
that is
but
it,
that's as wrong as like, you know, people blaming, immigrants for the economy or, you know, like whatever, like you
interested to hear
can't
you say that.
blame.
Based on some of the conversations we've had, that's very interesting to me to hear you say this.
Why do you say that?
We've talked about how difficult the situation is in Palestine with the Hamas being in charge of
I
everything.
don't blame Palestinians.
No, 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 but there's a lot of the social media stuff, the videos and the stuff that I get when I research them, a lot of times like the videos will be saying like this person is Hamas and this person's Hamas. But then when I dig into it, you see like these people are like living here and Hamas just says like, hey, we're gonna live in your house now. And then these people get lumped in with because they're letting that happen. Their only choice is
There,
that or
there,
else be killed. And it seems to me like again, people to me, it's just a broader like people getting once there is once your government turns and is aligned with bad ideologies, I think everyone's at risk. And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say is that we're complicit to some degree. Every German who lived in in World War II Germany and, waved at the parades that went by to some degree, right? That's complicit. Even though they're saying, I gotta live here and I got family and I gotta do this, there's something, I don't know, like how many Jews left Germany at the time? And it was
280,000.
just Jews, it was everybody, right? Other people left
33 to
too.
39 is Jews.
But other people, did we look up how many other people left? I wonder how many other people left. You should look up the numbers of the people, all of the immigration.
but regardless, like
I don't know.
there's a huge difference between somebody who is resisting from within a society and somebody who not invites, but allows a terrorist organization or terrorist government into their home to put weapons of war. And even in that situation, you aren't blaming necessarily, or you shouldn't necessarily blame the
Shouldn't.
people,
No, but they do.
but at the same time, that doesn't, you know, take away the fact that you have to destroy the material weapons
Yeah,
in
right.
the home. So
Absolutely.
you have to, bomb it or whatever you do to destroy that. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't feel empathy for the individuals, that are there that may not have had a choice,
Right. Right.
you know, but at the same
Had they
time,
been
you
able to
could.
get out, I would have said get out and don't stay and make resistance. But you get out and those people lose their support. Yeah, they can still use your house, but they're not going to be eating your food. They're not going to be using your money. They're not going to be taking advantage of you. So to me, again, all of this just supports when things go bad, get the fuck out is how I feel. And any way, shape, you form you can. If you can cut yourself off, the more you can cut yourself off, I think the better. And what I keep hearing from mainstream media and from progressive people and stuff is like, now's the time to build a coalition. And I disagree. I will disagree and over. I feel like when you need a coalition, you'll be able to get one. But right now, it's everybody hide. I don't know. I want to hide. I don't want to hide.
I would hide, but you can't hide this nose. Like
It's
it'll
the
just poke
hat,
right
really.
out the closet.
It's your hat, really, man. It's like I know that hat anywhere. I can spot you out of the crowd now.
This is a corner store hat.
It's an awesome hat.
It
I
is an
love
awesome
it.
hat.
It's a great hat. It's so you. It's so funny. It's so just yeah, perfect. But anyway, yeah, like this is a hard time. I guess my point is
It
that
is.
it's a
It is. And
very hard time.
and we are definitely going to have to make a lot of choices, going forward that are tough choices.
Ugh.
You know, my focus, as I've said from the beginning, has been, focusing on my neighborhood, you
Family.
know, and my obviously protecting my family, as much as I make fun of them. But I want to protect those things. We 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 recently had like some issues at the school that I'm trying to deal with in a very robust way. That it takes everyone into account. You know,
That sounds
y-
like complicated.
it is.
Yeah, that's adulting for you.
It very much is. I have. This has been a massive, massive adulting week
Oof.
and husbanding week.
Oh no. Double adulting.
Uh, it's been interesting. I've learned a lot about restaurant culture this
Uh-oh.
week
Uh-oh.
and like the pervasiveness of sexual harassment.
Did you have to get involved with that horrible man at your wife's work? Did you kick ass?
No, I did not.
It's not like you're
Um,
setting that up. I
It's
don't
on the
know.
list, though.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I did not. I did not get involved with it. I did what she wanted and was an ear.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like she ended up getting written up for it. He got written up for it. The manager got written
How
up
did
for it
she get written up?
Did not pour it.
because she had her own shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
Probably, didn't she?
oh.
she did. She did.
She did. How did
She
she
said so.
on
I
herself?
don't want to get into
She was doing
detail,
that again.
but she said some shit.
Oh,
She said some shit.
good for her.
All right.
Good for her. That's so funny.
It
Awesome.
was really dumb on her part, though.
Aw.
To be fair,
Okay.
like, and I love her to death, but like, this is one of those things where she could have done with some advice before
Yeah.
going the route she did.
Mhm.
So she had the high ground and then she went to gun. Is that what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah, she could have. Yeah, she could have turned that into a harassment lawsuit. Yeah, you guys could be sitting pretty right now.
Oh yeah.
we could have.
You tell her how much.
And honestly, like eventually
Sorry.
somebody will end up
Yeah.
suing the shit out of that company.
Sure.
And I'm not stating what company or anything
No,
like
no, you're
that.
not,
Like
you're
not
No.
because I don't want to put her at risk, but like somebody is going to sue that company because nothing is really being done about it. I expected that there would be like some people getting fired, some like sexual harassment training. I don't
Right.
fucking
A lawyer
know.
to come by and talk to everybody.
Something.
Yeah, like something, and that did not happen, but she was moved
Mhm.
out of this situation. So she's gonna be
That's good.
fine.
That's good.
It's the other women that that are left there that I'm a little concerned about. You know,
Yeah.
it's very, very sad for them because they're going to continue with that environment as soon as things simmer down a bit. And the people that were doing it are just going to go back to doing it because they're going to see that they kind of got away with it.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's how they do it. They push and push and push, and unless you get smacked back, you just come back. They just go back and do it, right?
You know, and I mean, it is much of a headache as it, you know, Danny's response caused. Like, I don't blame her. Like, there were smarter ways to do it, but like, I also get the notion of like fucking with the assholes that fuck with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And that actually is more effective, maybe, even if she got
Not
still.
in this case.
Well,
You gotta be smarter than the
Uh-huh.
assholes.
oh,
Gotta be
okay.
smarter than the assholes.
Or just hit them,
I'm good at
hurt
hitting.
them,
I'm good at hitting them.
right?
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Hit them very hard. Even though you will get reprimanded, he'll be like, "Oh, never mind. I'll go mess with somebody else that doesn't hit. It doesn't bite me." I'm a biter.
That was a little too much personal information.
Actually, I'm a headbutter. I think that would be what I'd do.
I have to check you out later, Steve, and see if you have any bite marks.
I think that's the most effective in those
Yeah.
situations. No one ever expects a woman to headbutt you.
Yeah.
I do.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. You've hung out with my people then.
It's a Dell comment.
I feel we have simpatico. It's like, watch your head.
I never let a woman get that close to you. Because if she can headbutt you, she can stab you.
Yeah. Well, the headbutt is when my brothers grab my arms and then they think they got me. So that's when I'm like, whoop, you don't got me. Oops.
I'm a big advocate of I don't just have 2 weapons, I have 5.
Ooh, that's a lot. Isn't there like a I'm gonna get you sucker where he's got like guns on him everywhere?
Oh, I'm sure there's. Yeah, I can't remember the.
Funny comedian
scene,
thing
yeah.
where they keep pulling him off.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
So that was something I wanted to bring up, unless we're still talking.
No,
about
we
the-
can
Yeah, okay.
we're fine.
We were down at National Mechanics down in 2nd Street, down Old City, bar, restaurant. They had a story slam night, open mic kind of thing.
Interesting.
And one of the judges was an ACLU guy, like high up in the structure here in PA. And the MC was like, "Hey, what keeps you awake at night? Given now that you've got the Trump thing coming bearing down
Everything.
Yeah, right.
everything, right?" But he just came up with this sort of nonsensical mishmash of like, well, we all have to stay strong and blah blah blah, and I really trust in our institutions and all this kind of stuff. And I was thinking, the reason I'm bringing this up, because I was looking on AI about what do you do if you just had an anti-democratic regime get installed? And one of them is make international connections. And I thought, this guy should be connecting with people in Ukraine, Eastern Europe, who have dealt with this shit before.
Right.
What can you tell us? Like, be straight with us. Like, don't give me the fucking Pollyanna part of this thing. Just tell
I
me
agree.
what's happened and prepare me adequately for what to expect.
I totally agree with that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm all about, being practical, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm also about being honest as I can
Right.
with people, that, maybe listening, to my ugly voice. Or, with you guys, because I want you guys to be able to be prepared. And you can only do that if, you have a pretty good grasp of what's coming, what is entailed in Project 25. What kind of shit can we expect from Kash Patel if he gets into office?
Yeah.
Obviously we don't have to worry about Matt Gaetz now, but we do have what the fuck's her face from Florida, not Elise Stefanik.
Oh, dipshit Cannon.
No, no,
Not
no,
Eileen Cannon. I thought she was going to be at the defense or DOJ or something.
no. There was somebody a DA from Florida, a female DA from Florida, but it wasn't Cannon.
Oh, okay.
It starts with an S, I think. Um, ooh,
Florida
I'll
DA.
do that. Um, DOJ pick. Hmm. Pam Bondi.
Oh, right. I don't know anything about her.
She was one of Trump's lawyers during the impeachment,
Mm-hmm.
and she was a uh, Florida a federal prosecutor, I believe, or maybe it was a state prosecutor in Florida. Um, but what are they going to do? You know,
Yeah.
uh, what are the impacts of, Trump's economic decisions, which are like huge, huge things. There's a case in the Supreme Court about that just had our oral arguments this past week about like a trans ban or something like that in Tennessee. I haven't had a chance to read up on it yet. What are the impacts of those sorts of things on, you know, the communities we care about?
Right.
I may not really be able to operate in those communities anymore, because of, my Jewishness and support for, Israel. But it doesn't mean that I don't care about them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I still care about women's, rights. I still care about LGBTQ rights, trans rights, our immigrant, brothers and sisters and neighbors, our black family, in our community. And so, we have to, still be fighting for those people and using, our privileges when we have them,
Mm-hmm.
where we have them. And we have to be practical in the everyday sense. There was a book that I was given. I have it in my on my thing somewhere. It's trying to remember what it was called. Oh, All the Power. Ah, here we go. All the Power. Revolution Without Illusions. It's a great book on, ways to, resist, in very practical ways without getting burned out,
Like
you
what?
know,
Yeah.
Like what?
like serving in, your neighborhood, like, giving, doing like providing food for unhoused folks or, working at like a shelter or an old folks like day center, babysitting for your neighbor's kids that can't afford it. Um, think all sorts of little things, building, community gardens to feed people. The the refrigerator thing that you guys,
Community fridge.
did up there, that's a great thing. You know, radical like little free, book swap places.
Mm-hmm.
All those little teeny things that are a part of, your community and building up your community. Maybe it's you're a carpenter and you have neighbors that need repairs on their homes, and you go and you volunteer and do that, on your weekends. I know nobody likes to work on their weekends, but still, you can do it in a way that's fun and like not oppressive.
How many people do you think would be interested in getting involved in these community groups if, let's say, every once in a while you know, that made you a target for MAGA people that suspected you of, you know, feeding trans people or possibly being helpful to immigrants or something.
And that's where you
They
come up
pull one of us
with
away.
community defense leagues. You know, that's always been, you know, a thing that was like a primary thing.
But I'm just
You
saying,
know,
most
like
people, though,
the
do you think most citizens would go, I'm going to go and get defense, or they think they're just going to go, too much trouble for me, let me turn around and not help? And what happens? Like, how many people do you really think do we need, and how many do you practically think we can?
you got to do this as a one
I
at a
know, one
time.
person at a time. The starfish story, it matters to this one, right? Like that
Like
whole. I
if
get it,
everybody
but
thinks that
I
the way that you are, like nothing gets done, and that we're just fucked, and we're, you know, in a fascist system, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. I'm not trying to be
no,
defeatist, and
right.
I'm not gonna give into defeatism.
Right. And even during the darkest times of World War II and you know the darkest times that we know of, there's people that shine and help out. And it's great to uh imagine yourself being that hero at that time and
It's
being
not even a matter of that. It's a matter of survival.
yeah,
If you look at like the conditions that were faced in the ghettos, that is the worst I mean, other than the camp, obviously
I
the
know, right,
camps,
right. Sure.
you know, that was like one of the worst possible situations Jews could be in. And we didn't give up.
I appreciate
We
that,
came
right? I
we
hear I
came
hear that.
together, and we did for each other.
I hear
And
that.
that's what I'm saying.
I hear that.
You know, are you, because you're talking very defeatist,
I am. I
and
am.
I'm
I hear that. I hear that and I admire that, but I also feel yeah, it's a confusing time. I hear what you're saying. I really do. And I think that's a beautiful sentiment. I do believe that there can be, you know, on a one-on-one personal level that can make a difference. But I
eh,
guess I'm just staring at the wall of
you
what I see coming, and I feel part of me feels that's irresponsible, you know, to give people hope in that we don't know where the hope is going to be, and that there
that
are
is the only thing, that hope is
I
the
know,
only
and
thing.
I know. I'm just a little too Eastern European for this. It's just, I get, you know, it's just a little, I get it, and I understand it, and that's what they all say. Like, they end of Pandora's box. There's only one thing left, and it's hope. I get it, but like, it's just there's, it doesn't solve everything, and I guess I'm just kind of holding my breath, trying to, like, to my thought, it's not even a time for hope yet. It's a time for,
Hope doesn't
no,
solve anything at all.
no,
Hope doesn't solve anything at all. But it creates the opportunity and the pathway for for solutions to emerge. Because if you don't have hope, then you all you have is the black pit of despair.
right?
Have you ever read I I'm trying to think of the name of it, like a series called The Endless. It's by the same guy that wrote American Gods, and it kind of follows the this immortal, like, you know, primordial, you know, gods, you know, like dream, destiny, da 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 da. And one of the things in one of the scenes or chapters in the book, the one of the endless dream is going up against a demon in hell, in like a sporty little game of, you know, like words trump, like being something that trumps the other thing. And at the end of it, like, you know, the only thing that was left was hope, and hope trumped all of the things that the demon had thrown at dream. If we lose hope, if we throw away our dreams, and our little,
Mhm.
you know, things that, like, then life becomes meaningless, and you have nothing left but despair. And once you have that, what do you really have other than ending your own life?
Right.
Don't I'm not advocating
No,
that.
no, that's not the solution.
Do not,
It's not a
anybody out there,
solution.
do not take that as me advocating that. I'm saying that you have to have hope. You have to find
Right. And
hope.
that's where I'm finding my hope in leaving this goddamn country because I have no hope for the country at all. So I've lost all my hope for the country, every bit of it, no hope. No hope. So that's my only hope is that I can get out of here. Like that's literally my hope. So otherwise everything else to me just looks like a big wall of despair. How about you?
Well, it's interesting because I looked up the Montreal Holocaust Museum because I was looking into what were the resistance things going on in the ghettos, because obviously that's a lot more harsh than what we're dealing with right now. But it began with what Corey was saying, aid and rescue, not only to your own people, but to other people around you,
Absolutely.
because then you're building those social bonds
Yep.
and connections. And then they also talked about documentation.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
That is
daily-
very,
Yeah.
I've heard of that too. People
A guy-
say taking pictures of like gas prices
Yeah,
to prove how it was
Jewish
here.
historian Dr. Emanuel Ringelblum begins a chronicle of the life of Jews in Warsaw. So they became a secret operation involving dozens of contributors talking about just daily life.
mhm.
That's the start.
And if I recall, they buried those in like split it apart and buried them in like separate places so that even if they found like one set, they didn't have all of it. And
Wow.
and eventually like people would find out or find it like in the future after the regime had been dismantled
Right.
and be able to use that to piece together
Yeah.
what had happened.
Wow.
Right. And also just the simple fact of being a human and writing your story
Yeah.
makes every oppressive situation more bearable anyway.
Well, that's
Yeah. Because it gives you a voice.
Yeah.
that's good to think.
Right. You're at least you're the narrator of your own story. Yeah.
That's a good
So-
thought, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
That's helpful as well. So in the
So-
meantime, sitting here documenting things as they go to hell will be our form of resistance.
Right. And if there's going to be war crime trials later, you'd have some documentation. So you can always hope.
I mean, that at the
there's
heart,
that hope again.
at the heart, that is like the core of who we are
It is.
as journalists.
Yes,
It is chroniclers and
right.
people.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful,
we're the
guys.
first drafters of history.
You
Yeah,
guys.
because look at these guys
You
banning.
guys.
Look at these guys banning books. I mean, they don't want to have another
You
voice.
guys.
They don't want to
thank
have an
you.
alternate narrative.
That's awesome. See?
Yeah.
I come at
Yeah.
this with like darkness and crap, and I get
Ooh.
hope from you, and then I got it from here. And it kind of sounds. What
It's
happened,
kind of
Corey?
annoying. It's kind
Oh,
of-
that was Rite Aid telling me I have medicine that I need to go get.
Okay, all of a sudden you're like,
Oh.
whoa, whoa, and I'm like, what is going on? It's like a snake or something.
Yeah, sorry about that. I forget that my phone's connected to my computer.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
funny
okay.
because I whoa, whoa.
Well, we're after 3:00 anyway,
are.
and we're on a hopeful.
That was
I
really nice.
dare
There
I
you
say-
go.
it-
Word.
Hopefully
Got
we gave poor Caroline
Thanks,
a
guys.
little bit of hope.
You did. You did.
And I hope that the people out there that may listen to this down the line, outside of our current production, hear this and they cling on to that hope inside them, and they focus on their communities and helping their neighbors, because at the end of the day, that's all we have is
Right?
our neighbors.
Right. And that's kind of what we're doing here with this thing. We're documenting how we are living through this weird time, and all our complaints and all our freak outs and everything are part of the narrative that we're sharing about what's going on. So like maybe that's even something we can do instead of talking about things we can do. Maybe when we talk, sometimes we can talk about what we are doing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Overall, we're documenting it. So that's the one good thing we're doing. So hey,
Yeah.
despite myself. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I don't know everything. Sometimes it's nice when you talk me down.
Well, I would rather be in your position than in my position where I do know everything, God damn it. And I am always fucking right.
The Oracle.
Didn't know your
And
right.
and sometimes that
Yeah,
is
you
a
didn't know Rite Aid
burden.
was
You didn't know
ready.
your Rite Aid order was ready.
He's
so you
right.
No, I actually knew it was ordered ready 3 days ago. I've just not been going because I don't feel like walking down there and wasting an hour of my day when I could just pick it up Monday when I'm already in that direction.
So it sounds efficient use of time. I
Yes.
support that.
Yes.
All
I
right.
am always about efficient use of time. If I can get it delivered, I'll get it delivered, but this is one of those things that I can't get delivered because it's a needly thing, and they don't do that for needly things.
Really?
Oh, right.
Ooh,
Yeah,
all right.
The horrors of being a diabetic.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oi.
Yeah.
all right.
All right. Well, good luck with it, and
Thank you again.
we'll chat
And we
next
will
week.
chat again soon.
Hopefully, we'll have good news to bring.
Yeah. And actually, we also be real fast. Just between WHYY wants people to contribute stories, and they have story pitches and shit like that. And they're supposedly going to have a bunch of resources that possibly you might want to partake of. I'll keep track of that. So just a quick heads up. You may be getting an email from me in the next 2 weeks or so that say, "Hey, here's what we have. Is there anything you want?" And we'll see from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
Have a good day.
All right.
Yeah.